Afternoon, good evening. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Councilmember Bardini. Councilmember Totino.
Present.
Councilmember Foreman.
Here.
Councilmember Rye.
Here.
Supervisor Albro.
Here. I have one amendment to the agenda. I'd like to add an item for special consideration for the discussion of intro proposed local law to taxation to add hotel room occupancy tax. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up is the acceptance of minutes. Town Board regular meeting October 1st and October 15th. Present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next up is a public hearing for special district benefit unit rolls 2025. I'll make a motion to open that public hearing up. Can I have a second?
Second.
Brian, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so this is the opportunity to speak about the public benefit rolls. Mr. Gaba, can you just give the residents, every year this comes up, it's not confusing, it's just...
Sure. There are two types of taxation. One is real property tax. That's what pays for school taxes and the town's general budget tax. And then there are special benefit districts, things like sewer and water and light and drainage. I don't know if you have garbage or not.
Yeah.
And for those, benefit assessment units are assigned to every property. And the value of a benefit assessment unit, depending on, well, the standard value, depending on the number of units you have assigned, determines the amount of special benefit assessments that you have to pay for your sewer district, your water district, or whatever other district that you happen to be in. You're required, the town is required, to hold a public hearing in regard to the rolls for the special benefit assessments every year. It's the opportunity for property owners to stand up and contest the assignment of the benefit assessment units to their property. So, for example, if a single-family home is assigned one benefit assessment unit, and you're being assigned two benefit assessment units, which would otherwise be be assigned for like a duplex or something like that, you can come in and say, hey, I have two benefit assessment units assigned, I think it should only be one, and the town will take that into consideration before it adopts the rolls.
Very good. Anybody like to speak about this?
Please, not everyone all at once.
Any board member like to speak about it? Make a motion to close the public hearing. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that one's closed. Next one is the budget. ID number 10225, public hearing to accept the 2026 preliminary budget. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing. Can I have a second?
Second.
Foreman, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Gaba, just a brief, like you did the first time.
Well, this is actually the budget for the town. This is real property tax. And what's going on this evening is that the town has prepared a preliminary budget, which it has adopted, in which it assigns various proposed amounts that it needs to raise for, well, all the items listed in the budget. And this is your opportunity to comment on the budget and either say that you feel that there should be changes, or if you want, you can say that you feel that the amounts are correct, or whatever it is you have on your mind in regard to the town's FY 2026 budget.
Okay, before we open it to the public, Ms. McLennan, would you like to make a presentation?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Maureen McLennan, and I'm the controller for the town of Fishkill. Before I get started, I want to thank my team, my fabulous team, for getting this budget together in a very short time. I started August 19th, so to be here today is quite a feat that myself and my entire team, including Sharon Mitchell, want to do a call out to her, has getting this budget done today. I prepared a preliminary summary because I know the budget is huge. There's over almost 100 pages, so I prepared the summary for all of you to look at and review, and there's summaries available for the residents to also look at and review of our 2026 preliminary budget. First, you will see that the effective tax cap rate is at 3.14%, very similar to where it was a year ago for the 2025 budget. Our taxes have gone down, which is good, our tax rate. If you go on to the next page, there's a budget overview that compares to where we were a year ago today and the FY26 budget. And you can see our spending is practically almost the same from a year ago, even with rising costs in health benefits and other material costs due to tariffs. We really try to keep it mean and lean and still give the services to the town of Fishkill. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
I was very impressed with that top.
Thanks. Overall spending is at 1.3% from the budget that was approved last year, FY25 to FY26. I think that's very good on our part, so we try to keep everything as close and as mean and lean as possible. The next pages, the expenses are broken down by year, by budget, for each category of the major budgets. Summary.
I was noticing in the, getting granular on the, the larger budget. And I see, I don't know if this is all, the reason why highway townwide is reduced so much, but I saw the expense, was it last year, 400,000 for salt, this year 140 for salt, something like that, just a major reduction. So,
Well, our salt piles are pretty much full at the moment. They only did a top off for this year. It depends on the winter, whether the salt piles are needed to go up or down.
Right.
But so far, I think we're in good shape,
Yeah.
unless we have a really bad winter.
Don't say that.
I'm hoping we don't. Okay. Any other questions with regards to the expenses by category? All right. Next up is a summary of the preliminary changes, hopefully to be adopted in the budget. The line items are for increased spending in signs, DC Chamber membership, real property tax levy to cover the increased costs, salary changes, and training. Do we have any questions
No.
on these changes?
Okay.
Okay. I also included our 5-year capital plan and the summary report of where we are with, to date with 2025, 2026 planned capital improvements by fund. So we have town hall, police facility, highway, and the roundabout sewer.
I guess I just have a question.
Shoot.
So the 2026, part of the 5-year capital program, looks like we're spending $1,138,000. 2027 is $6,394,155. It's a really significant jump. What is the plan to take care of that?
The capital plan is like a guideline,
Right?
and we won't be spending that kind of money. So a few things I just pushed over to the next year, we'll review it, and if I have to push it out, we'll push it out.
Okay.
Like this year, we have two major, we're gonna do this year a cooling tower, and next year we're gonna do a cooling tower for town hall.
Yep.
And a lot of this in here, like, there's like, I think $1 million just for the Glenham pump station. I'm not gonna do that maybe for another year or two. I'd like to keep that $1 million in for a round. But that's just things being pushed out, so
Okay.
we don't
It's
have-
on there
It's
for
parked.
grant purposes, right?
Look, if the heating system goes out, we'll be able to maneuver with that.
Got it.
But we're not spending $6 million.
Okay.
It's a useful way to anticipate what future expenses might look like without binding us to actual
Costs.
expenditure.
That
But,
helps us
you know,
build
if we
fund, right?
decide that those expenses might not be wise for any particular budget year, we can always just push that off another year or 2 years and plan those expenses accordingly.
That helps us build up fund
Yeah.
balances.
Yep.
Correct.
Have those projections. I look at that and I know we're not spending that money, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you look at the numbers, a lot of it is sewer.
Sewer and water.
And, yeah, exactly. So, but, we got the town-wide stuff done. Now we're gonna focus on water and sewer. We probably have about half of that done about a quarter allocated, another quarter that we got to figure out how to get stuff done. And those pump stations are like 500 grand each, so they're very expensive.
Yeah.
So we're saving up for one. For example, Beacon Hills has 3 of them. We're saving up for one. So in theory, it's on this thing here, but in reality, I'm not gonna,
Got it.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next page is the year-to-date fund balances from 2020 through estimated end of year 2026, if the budget is adopted today. And as you can see, from 2020 with the fund balance of 16 million and 2026, we're going to end up around 16 million. So overall, we've been keeping our fund balances levels over the last 6 years, which I think is great. And next is the water and sewer rates. As you can see, there are some increases due to the infrastructure maintenance of Dutchess Park. Overall operational costs increased 3 to 5% depending on the area. And Brinkerhoff increased due to district consolidation, but there's no longer a double added district rate. Any questions? And the next 3 are the preliminary tax rate calculations. And it's also listed by district, and there's a chart with the breakdown.
One of my favorite topics with you is the hotel tax.
I know.
And I think we've talked about this before, but, you know, the main purpose is how the revenue increases. Hopefully, we get 500,000 this next year. That's what we're projecting. And that can go in what way into the budget? I'm not clear on that. And, you know, which fund and how we're going to use it to offset other increases. Would you have any?
Right now, we haven't fully decided where those funds could be.
Right.
It could be highway, it could be town outside village. That has not been determined. But what I've done is create a tax form for the hotels to fill out and complete, sent out letters of notice, making it effective January 1st. So hopefully we'll get the hotel occupancy tax law on the books prior to that and just get everything started on the back end.
Plus, I'm going to brag about you. We were looking at outside companies, third parties, to collect the money and trying to figure out, well, other towns do this, how do they do it? We never could get clear answers, and you came along and did it. You're creating an online Town of Fishkill portal for all hotels to
Log in and
numbers,
guess.
and therefore it's automatic and it's going to save us a lot of money. So,
Yep.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And you've notified the hotels already in writing?
Already done?
Awesome.
But this is going to be a tweak to that start date after we pass. the-
Yeah, originally I had the start date as of November 15th.
Right.
I was recently informed that the law was not on the books, so it got pushed out to January 1st of 2026.
Oops.
Oops. The form is already done and it's online, but I'll be working with the team to make everything fully automated.
Great. And do they notify us of the amount and then mail a check? Is that kind of the process, or?
Well, if you're familiar with sales tax filing, it's almost like a self-report. They would tell us what their sales were for the time period, and they will submit it, tell us what taxes they collected, and then send us a check.
I got you, yeah.
So normally, after like 6 months of seeing what the numbers are, 6 months to a year, then eventually I could go out and audit it to make sure they're telling us the truth.
And that's quarterly?
No, I have it set up for monthly.
Monthly?
Monthly.
Even better.
I like that. So, good thing.
Anybody else have any questions? So we could open up to the public. All right, anybody from the public like to speak about the budget?
Hi, my name's Kevin Cohan. I'm with the organization Stray Help. I'm the vice president. Just wanted to say thank you for your continued support with the...
No,
No.
this is the public hearing on the
Okay.
budget. You can wait for public comment on that.
Okay, I apologize.
No problem.
Well, what do you, Ms. LaGoy, what do you want to, what is your?
Well, you can, but not during the, appreciate it, but.
Anybody else like to speak? All right. I make a motion to close the public hearing. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. McLennan. Well, just
Thank
hang out because we have to do those amendments, right? We don't need you for that, right? We don't need you for the amendments, right?
How many amendments do we have?
Let's look at them real quick.
That's sort of a yes, you'd like her to say?
She'd have to stay to the end of the meeting, and we can circle back and talk with her offline. It's not a problem.
Okay.
There were just a few, nothing big. The clerk, that's deputy town hall, and this, just a retirement stuff.
Okay.
You can go, Ms. McLennan. You guys can go.
Team Clinton.
Team McLennan, yes, you guys can go. All right.
Thank you for all your work, Finance Department.
Yes, Finance
Yes.
Department. Great job.
Great job.
All right, next up is introduction of new employees. Anybody new employees here? Nope. Next up is privilege of the floor for general town items. Now this is the opportunity to speak about anything regarding the town of Fishkill. Mr. Cologne?
Good evening, members of the board. First of all, I'd like to say that don't forget about next Tuesday,
What's your name, sir?
Eddie Cologne,
Oh, thank you.
okay? Representing the Rotary Club and also the Fishkill Food Pantry. First one is, let's not forget about next Tuesday, the ceremony, you know, honoring the veterans like yourself, Mr. Supervisor. And it's going to be, the ceremony is going to be at 12 o'clock at McCool's
11.
funeral, 11.
Here at 11.
Yeah, there at 11, yours at 11, and,
Yours is at 11.
Ours is at 11.
And then yours is at 12.
Okay, so we gotta do both.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
So just wish that you all guys be there, you know. The second one is, I'd like to give thanks to the Department of Highway, and the Superintendent, Mr. Carmen Israel, and the crew from the members of the Keep Fishkill Beautiful for allowing us to do the tailgating there on last Saturday, and the topic was about the food consistency or food shortage, and it was a great topic, and we should have more of these topics there again. Topics like this, it doesn't have to do with the food pantry, but it could be all about all the subject. The thing is, it's good for the community, and I wish that more town representatives be there and attending these meetings, because it's not about politics or religion. It's something that we in the community need. I mean, we only know about the town representatives when we come here to the meetings, but we don't see them mingling with us. And that's a thing that needs a little improvement. You know, let's go out there, you know, let's take, you know, our political costume off for one day and just mingle. Talk to Mrs. Smith, and you know, we had a great time. We collected over 1,000 pounds of food, okay? So, say 1,000 pounds of food, that could last us 2 days or 3 days, okay? So far, from January of 25 to October of this year, we have given 115,500 meals. That's a lot of meals. Right now, I'm here because we are in need. We are in need. We're trying to get a lot of food drives out there, and I'm here to ask the board for permission if we could put a box in the town hall for at least a couple of weeks until this thing gets through with a SNAP. I have nothing to do with the SNAP. That's not my caliber. My job is to keep the shelves, you know, full on top of there, so my volunteers in the community and the pantry could keep the clients in good shape. I mean, we be getting food drives coming in, but as soon as they come in, and they go back around. And last October, we got an increase of 19 families. We went from 291 from 296 to 315. That's an increase. And the other day, last Monday, the shift from 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they got 6 new clients. And they were not families of 2 or 3. They're families of 5 and 6. You know, the holidays are coming. I know it's hard. You know, we all lived paycheck by paycheck, penny by penny, but it's going to get worse. And I mean, we discussed last year alone, we fed 143,700 meals. This is here. We are one of the, I said, best and big food pantry in Fishkill. We're the only pantry with refrigeration. You know, the other pantries, you know, they don't have that luxury. You know, you get your canned goods, you know, and they're like, we open at 10 o'clock in the morning, and if by 10:02 in the morning, it's gone, it's gone. First come, first serve. And, you know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, we've been involved and we do things and show up, and I've always been as best I can trying to help. So first of all, I have no problem about putting a box here. I don't think anybody does. I mean, keep it Thanksgiving through Christmas. But I want to ask you, just as far as logistics about this, which I think I know. I'm asking this so people out there hear it and understand. This food pantry covers how many zip codes?
12 zip codes.
4 zip codes.
12.
With a lot of people, and you guys are probably the only one in Dutchess County that will do home delivery.
Yes, sir.
So you do above and beyond.
Yeah, and right now, we short of staff. So we usually have a staff per shift of 4 or 5. But when it comes down that you only have two members on staff, you're trying to feed 15 people online. Okay, and you know, we are doing our best. You know, my goal is 2 goals. Is that one day the whole board come down and say, let's go visit here. Let's see their operation. We have all the people, all the members of the political parties, and let's throw out the political parties.
But you know we've done that.
I know, but now is the time.
So
You know, you've been there several times, Mr. Foreman, Mr.
Come.
Gregg, Mr. Supervisor, but, you know, going there last year and going there this year is 2 different ball games. So, and this afternoon, at approximately 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got pictures. You should have seen the most beautiful thing and the most proud thing that happened today. You could have tears coming out your eyes. Seeing the Fishkill kids, elementary, the kids, they started a food drive last week. And they walked from the school with a push cart to bring a food drive to our place. That is the most beautiful thing there is, that the children of our school system go out there and bring food to feed others, and we don't even know if they could afford that. So, you know, if they could do it, then we could all get together and say, you know something, let's plan on something. I know you guys very smart. So I said, you know something, if we could do this, why don't we all get together here and say, we the members of the council, let's do a food drive. Let's invite everybody. The same way we go out there and knock on doors for votes or knock on doors. Why don't we do that? You know, come together and say, hey, one day, let's all get together, whether forget about that, we politicians and we can be in the same room together because it's a big thing. Let's throw that out the window for one day. Let's just become a friendly community for one day. Let's take off that political costume off and say, hey, we could do it. Because when it comes to help, Fishkill is always there, our community is there. You know, we together we'll survive, you know, and this is serious. This is serious, you know. It's a shame that we have a community refrigerator and we put food there 15 minutes before we close. 15 minutes, we fill the refrigerator. And by the time we come out and lock the door, everything is gone. We can't have it 24 hours a day. And we're the only ones so far that the Department of Health have gone up there and said, flying colors, we maintain it, it's clean, and we keep it neat. And, you know, I keep saying it, but we really need your support, the community, but we can't end hunger. We're not. The only thing we could do is put a Band-Aid on it. That's, you know, that's the only thing we could do. But we could help someone. We can't help all the people all the time. But we could help someone and say, you know something? Mrs. Smith is not going to bed hungry today. Mrs. Smith's children are not going hungry today. And I go out there and I say, listen, I say, if you people need food, come here. I don't care if you're from Poughkeepsie. We don't cover for Poughkeepsie or anything beyond that. But if you come to our food pantry and say, well, listen, I'm not from the area, I'm from Poughkeepsie, you're not going home empty. Oh, no, you're not going home. We're going to feed you. We're going to give you enough food to last you for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we tell you where to go. We open the door for you. Now, it's up to you to go do what you got to do. But we got our regular clients plus new clients that are going to come in, and it's going to get worse. Every day we'll see it. I was there Monday. I went there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get there till 5 o'clock. I didn't get out till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then Tuesday, and then today. And tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing because we're short of staff. You know, the volunteers that we have there, they're not young whippersnapper, 18 years old, 19 years. We're talking about elderly person, people that they retire, they want to do something with their time, and they donate their time, and they could only do a couple of times. I'm having a food drive on the 15th and the 16th with the police cadets. They're doing it at Walmart. I'm doing the other one in BJ's. I didn't have staff. Luckily, God sent someone to me. He sent the international union from the paramedics and the EMS from Empress. That lady, I don't know where, she called me and said, hey, we're here to help. They cover 9 counties. So there, we're going to be good. Is it going to be big? Am I going to walk out with hundreds of pounds of food? I don't know, but we could try. Like I said, we can't feed the whole world, but we could put a Band-Aid. But I think that we should to get together and come up with some idea where we could all work together, not against each other. Just let's put everything aside and say, hey, let's create something. Come up with an idea. I'm willing to help. I'm willing to help. That's what I'm here for. I'm not, it's my passion. But the food pantry is my passion. You all know that. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm just asking if you guys give us the opportunity, like we do it every year. Supervisor, you give us the opportunity to put a box there. And now we need that box. I know you already got the space occupied, so, you know, so I don't know if that could happen. But now we need that box. You know, and if everybody would come and just put a can, if we had 2,000 people visit this hall every day here, if those 2,000 people come down here with a can of soup, oh, that'd be great. That's 2,000 cans of food. That's 2,000 people, 2,000 children, 2,000 other people that won't go home. They won't go to bed hungry. So again, I'm asking, you know, that you give us the permission, the opportunity to do that.
We're okay with that, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Go ahead,
All right?
Mr. Wong.
Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you too. Anybody else like to speak? You can speak now.
No, this is public comment. You can comment on anything.
Will this lady speak first?
Good evening. I'm Janice Gomez Anderson. I'm an attorney with Rodenhausen, Shaw, and Polidoro. I'm here tonight representing and speaking on behalf of the Friends of Fishkill Supply Depot. Last week, our firm sent a letter to this board on behalf of our client urging the town to adopt a moratorium on projects located on any property included on the state and national historic registers of historic places, including the Continental Commons project. The letter was addressed to the supervisor, and it was intended as noted in the greeting for all town board members. I'm here tonight for 3 reasons. One is to confirm that the letter was received and distributed, which I trust that it was. But if it wasn't, please let us know and we will resend it. The second is to reiterate the importance of its contents and to urge all of you to act to protect the Friends of Fishkill Supply Depot and other historic resources, including historic burial grounds within the town. And third, to ask what plans the board has to address this important issue. A moratorium or a pause in development on property included on the state and national registers would allow the town to honor and reevaluate its commitment to the protection of the depot and other historic resources within the town. Clearly something this board has demonstrated a want to do given the recent dedication of the Fishkill War Memorial at the Continental Commons site. It would also give the board the opportunity to reconsider any zoning provisions which are inconsistent with this commitment, and to ensure that the town and the planning board have evaluated the provisions of the Unmarked Burial Site Protection Act of 2023 and its effect on development projects. The Burial Act can be found in Executive Law Section 171. The law is meant to protect all unmarked burial sites in the state. It establishes a process to follow when unmarked graves are found. It establishes a penalty for intentionally disturbing or removing human remains from an unmarked burial site. It establishes a Native American Burial Site Review Committee to make decisions about indigenous burial sites, establishes a process for the disposition of non-Native American burial sites, and both of these processes include a process to try and locate lineal descendants or groups culturally affiliated with the remains that have been located. New York was one of the last states to adopt such a law to protect, respect, and account for these unmarked burial grounds. As you know, Continental Commons Development Project, which will include a strip mall, a 90-room hotel, and associated improvements located on the southeast corner of Route 9 and Snook Road, is within the National Register-listed Fishkill Supply Depot, located here in historic Fishkill, which is one of New York's most important Revolutionary War sites. The depot includes a Revolutionary War-era burial site. The burial site was long suspected to exist at the location, and its existence was finally confirmed in 2007. Under the Burial Protection Act, such remains would now be required to be reported to the county coroner, who would then notify the state archaeologist if the remains were over 50 years old. The state archaeologist would then attempt to identify lineal descendants or culturally affiliated groups and provide notification. Something like this would have allowed people buried at this property to be identified and be formally commemorated. This town still has time to evaluate and protect this and other historic sites within the community as intended by the Burial Act if it adopts a moratorium. There are several sites listed on the state and national registers of historic places in the town of Fishkill and several locations of historic significance and that are sensitive for archaeological reasons. A moratorium would be effective to prevent development at the Continental Commons property, as well as other historic sites, while the town reviews its laws and procedure and this particular project against the backdrop of the protections afforded by the Burial Protection Act. Although the Continental Commons project has already been approved, it is not too late for this board to protect that site. Based upon my firm's weekly Freedom of Information requests to the town, which we know require a lot, but are necessary to keep up with whether any building permits have been issued to the Continental Commons project, the information that's provided is that no permit has issued. And the rights of the project, therefore, have not vested, which is outlined in the letter that we sent, that this site too could be a moratorium, subject to the moratorium, and the remains of other historic artifacts on that site could be protected by means of adopting local legislation to protect this important part of history. New York in general, and Fishkill in particular, have a distinctive place in the American Revolution and founding of our country. With the 250th anniversary of our nation fast approaching, Fishkill, which as I said, has a distinctive place in the American Revolution, should make sure it's in the right side of history and enact a moratorium so that the town can review the Burial Protection Act and its implications for projects in the town, consider local legislation that will implement the act, as well as provide ample protection to all the historic resources in the town, including those at the Continental Commons site. Thank you for your time tonight.
The last sentence, you meant implementation. What do you mean by implementation?
Well, excuse me, I'm looking at my last line.
Like the last 3 lines.
So implementing the act, so looking at how this town will, the town can, in anything that the state has provided for protection as state law, the town can look at its own laws and see if there are ways that it also can provide those same protections as well as additional protections through its zoning laws, through recognizing and providing for certain reviews and historic sites in the town. Creating a historic district, which is a bigger project, it doesn't have to go that far. And just making sure that the planning board is fully aware of this, that any new projects any conditions on any new projects are subject to the conditions of the act, and that it's kind of in the forefront of people's minds as they're developing projects, and knowing that any site that might be the subject of, might have important historical artifacts, would be aware and follow the law as required.
What I meant was, what do we say? The basic bottom line, what do you mean by, do we declare it a burial ground? What do you mean?
No, I think what we were asking you to do is to sit back and study what you can do, right? Which is by putting a moratorium on any particular developments in places that are recognized national historic sites or national state recognized historic sites. I don't think Fishkill has any.
So according to the plan that they have for the site, the burial ground is being preserved?
That's correct.
So if the burial ground is being preserved, working with the Fishkill Historical Society, why would we have to do a moratorium?
Well, the moratorium would give the opportunity. There are plans on the site for preserving. We've submitted many materials, and some of which I think were submitted with this letter to the town, but I don't have them with me tonight, regarding the studies that have been done on the site, that more could be done, that even, when the seeker was done, that the means and manner of recognizing artifacts continue, just like everything in our society, to be more sophisticated. And therefore, that not just this historical site, but other historical sites within the town, and that it would also be an opportunity to just ensure that if there's newly discovered remains on the site, just that anything is dealt with under the act.
Does your firm have any paperwork or historical records of the site?
We have many of the different studies that copy or synopses and of many of the studies that have been done on the site to determine historical remains. One of the things is that the actual remains there have been parameters that have been outlined by, give me a second, to the New York State SHPO, it's often called SHPO, the New York State Historic Preservation Office has confirmed the northern and easternmost boundaries of the burial ground on the property, but there are archaeologists familiar with the property that believe that it may well go beyond these boundaries. And
is there evidence for that, or is that speculative?
Well, I think there is evidence that the studies could have been more substantial than they were. And again, every day and all the time, not every day, as time evolves. I mean, this project has been around for 6 years. As time evolves, our technology evolves to recognize and find these things, and therefore there's more that can be done to determine both at this and elsewhere in the town. So just not, this isn't just, it is focused on this project.
So the assertion is basically that the studies had been done in the past, but that the methodology and technology that could be used to perform a study now would provide a more thorough and detailed analysis than is currently available, and could potentially
absolutely, which
indicate the evidence of burials beyond the area where such burials are currently known.
That is quite possible, yes.
Who would be responsible to do that? The town?
Well, what it would be is the town putting into place regulations that would require any developer to do that. So who's ever developing a property, and as it stands under the Burial Act, is private property owners are responsible, and then if remains are found, then the state gets involved, or either the county coroner gets involved, or depending on the age of the remains, the state gets involved.
Would this be applicable retroactively to projects that have already been given approval but have not begun construction?
So the issue, the Burial Act itself may not well be, but the the town itself, if it institutes a moratorium, which is outlined in the letter, why we think that you could still apply one to this project. If a project doesn't have vested rights, so if a project's approved, you can't, and has vested rights, and vested rights is basically substantial construction and substantial expense toward the completion of the project, then you couldn't necessarily have a moratorium and have it affect the project.
Did you send a letter of that moratorium to our town council?
I haven't, but I will,
Please.
if you would like me to.
So.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Resend me the letter. I'll
Okay,
distribute it
absolutely,
to
and
the
I'm trying to
board
see,
members.
actually, did
Can
I?
send it to you?
No, we CC'd the town clerk, but we did not CC the
CC
town council.
clerk.
Okay, the town clerk received a copy, I believe, should have, that's who my CC list is.
Okay.
And I will make sure that we send one to the town attorney. I'll do that
So,
tomorrow morning.
what I'd like to, regarding this, is it okay to have Mr. Gabel look into it? If it's feasible or not feasible? Because,
Well, he's obviously going to read the letter when he gets it.
Yeah.
and give an analysis of it,
Yeah,
and put our
come back and
planner,
provide us
and
with-
come back to us?
I'll do whatever you want me to do. That's what you want, sure.
You guys are okay with that?
Yeah, I'd like Steve's opinion on that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go for the opinion, but I mean, I just see lawsuits galore.
Could you contact Mr. Randazzo and see what his opinion is on this too?
Sure.
Yeah, so if Mr. Randazzo doesn't think it would hurt that federal case, then it'll have different weight on what we make our decision on. The key here is that the burial ground, whether it's a Revolutionary War burial ground or a Revolutionary Era burial ground, it's recognized as a burial ground, and it's being preserved via the Historical Society. So that's done.
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of confirming or not confirming whether it is an actual Revolutionary War burial ground.
Well, there's also the idea that there is the belief that more may be on the site.
I'm a very, what they did back then, soldiers from like New Hampshire, Massachusetts were killed, they buried them in groups, and later they came and got them, or they didn't get them. But they also, when they planted, they tilled right over the graves. So it's, they're probably all around Route 9 in New York State, these burials, but.
Well, and that's what this law will protect, because it's even if someone's building just a single house, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just big development projects.
The big issue is, all the historical books that I've read, and it more likely it is than not. We'll definitely have the town attorney look into it, check with the planner, and Mr. Randazzo is dealing with some litigation here, and get back to us, because they're pretty far into this project, and we need to be careful.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time, the board's time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming, I appreciate it. Would anybody else like to speak? Next up is liaisons. Greg, you got anything?
Nothing in particular. Obviously, with Mr. Colon speaking, we know that Veterans Day is coming up next week. There are those two ceremonies here at Town Hall and then in the village. I encourage everyone who is able to come out and attend. Just as with Memorial Day, recognizing those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, taking time to recognize those who have served and live on, or those who are currently in uniform, are equally important. So Veterans Day is a truly valuable or invaluable observance, and I thank our Veterans Committee and the town for reinitiating these ceremonies in recent years, and for Eddie and his team for putting the event together in the village. That's going to be a very special time. I do want to take a moment to congratulate everyone involved in yesterday's elections, whether you won or you lost. Everyone who steps forward with an interest to serve should be commended for that interest and that dedication. We have our new elected town clerk here with us this evening, Town Clerk-elect Cooper Leatherwood. Congratulations to you, Cooper. I see a councilman-elect in the audience, and of course our colleague who isn't with us this evening won election. But those who did not achieve victory deserve commendation all the same. I think we all know that in local elections it isn't about politics, it's about a desire to serve. And to Mr. Foreman, I know you had a race yesterday. You should be commended. You ran a hard and honest campaign, and you should be proud. So should our outgoing town clerk, Rebecca Tompkins, our Veterans Committee member, Doug Delapioli, who ran for a seat on the town board, who I got to know during my campaign a couple of years ago. It's about a desire to serve and make a difference, and everyone should be commended for doing that. And I just want to recognize those people now and thank them for all that they have done and will do for the town in the future.
Thank you, Greg. John?
Okay, just a few things. On October 16th, Thursday night, I, along with Supervisor Alba, attended a law enforcement awards dinner at Dutchess Stadium. And this is a dinner that happened annually. And it was put on by a colleague of mine, Matt Viteri, in the insurance business. And after, I'm going to say 10 years, it got put back on the calendar, and it was a really, really nice evening. Everybody was accounted for: the state police, the sheriffs, the town of Fishkill, village of Fishkill, city of Beacon, city of Poughkeepsie, MTA, and one of our own, Blaise Gorkos, won 3 awards: heroic act by an officer, a life-saving award, and a 2025 top cop. And we had the pleasure of sitting with him and his beautiful family. And so congratulations to our police department, and especially Blaise Gorkos, and of course the commissioner. I'm looking at him in the audience. He was at our table as well. So I also attended a dinner for the Foundation for Beacon Schools. This used to be called the Dutchess, the Arts and Education Foundation. They changed their name to Foundation for Beacon Schools. That was at the Roundhouse, and that was a nice evening. Attended a wake for a Fishkill resident, Rob McGavery, who died at the age of 53. He was a friend to many, very active in his homeowners association with the condos behind All Sport. And I also attended my very first Jewish burial service for a longtime commercial property owner in Fishkill, Marty Katz's wife. So I've been friends with the Katzes for a very long time, and that was it was nice to see everybody under those unfortunate circumstances. And I think that is all. I would also echo Greg, congratulations to everybody who was on the ballot in 2025, and I wish Yvette Valdez-Smith all the best going into next year, while they will be serving in the majority in the legislature.
Thank you, John. Brian?
Yeah, well said, Greg. It takes, a lot to get out and get involved and try to get elected, and everybody worked very, very, very hard, and congratulations to soon to be sworn in new council member, and certainly Jackie. She's proven to be extremely pleasant to work with, and I know we're just going to have a good group up here. I look forward to the next year. I got a couple of questions for the chief since he's here, but I'm going to get into my liaison report. We did recently, and it was intra-faith and intra-politics, have the luncheon on election day at Fishkill United Methodist Church. I know John was there and Greg was there, and that's always a pleasant thing, very unifying thing, and it was a good crowd. I did attend the food pantry drive at the highway department that Eddie talked about, and I do appreciate the real needs that are out there, and in as much as people can, if you have the resources, there's no reason why you can't stop by once a week and drop off a bag. I mean, there are people that are hurting, but there are people that aren't. So keep your hearts open. The Roundabout Breakfast did happen recently, and I did enjoy that. And there were 2 wakes, unfortunately, that I attended. Rob McAvery, John already talked about. He just had so many friends, a kind individual, and went too early. And Carmine's brother, unfortunately, passed away. And he was he served our country as a Marine, a proud Marine. And I know that Carmine and his family are extremely proud of him. And there was a great turnout of in respect for him. Let's see. I did attend, and I'm trying to look for my note, but sometimes my writing is so bad. An interfaith. I can't think of it. It was a. Oh, here it is. It was our officers and Father Bancroft at St. Mary's. It was an interfaith houses of worship safety summit that was conducted. It was the first one of its kind by our sheriff and our district attorney, Anthony Parisi, Sheriff Kirk and Parati. It was extremely thorough. I went to that because I was curious, and Lieutenant Wood was there along with other officers. And speaking with Lieutenant Wood after the fact, I asked him, "What did you think of that presentation?" And he said, "Well, we're already involved in doing that, and it's a pretty thorough thing. I won't get into it. I will end that bit by saying I talked to the DA after, and I talked to the sheriff after, and I said, what would you guys think about coming to Fishkill? And people would love to see you and giving that presentation," and they both agreed. So I'll reach out to them via email, and I'll include you, Ozzy, and I'll certainly include our new sheriff as a way of intro, and maybe if there's an opportunity to set a meeting to discuss them doing that in the early part of the year, we can get together and go and see them and take care of business. I think that would be a great thing. My question to the chief, which let me get to that in a second. Doug McCool announced that there is a funding in the Dutchess County budget for a sidewalk on Jackson, where you round the corner coming down to St. Mary's. There's a bridge there, which I go over that a million times, and Carmen goes, "Did you know there's a bridge there?" I go, "Well, no, I haven't really noticed that's a bridge, but it is a bridge." So from the bridge down to 52 is going to be a sidewalk. So I guess they're going to be doing, I'm paraphrasing here, assessments or whatever next year, and it may go in the end of next year to the beginning of the following year. But that's a good thing, because we all know we need sidewalks in this town, and wherever they can go. So that was a very good thing to hear.
Especially over there.
What's that?
Especially over there.
Especially over there. And of course, Carmine was involved in that. But my question to the chief, come on up, chief.
Good evening.
Introduce yourself to people.
Oh, Chris Stratner. I'm the new chief of police here in the town of Fishkill.
Did you get the pictures I texted you that when you were getting sworn in?
I did, thank you.
All right.
And
I
Mrs.
just wanted to
Stratner
make sure.
enjoyed them much.
They were the best pictures I know you had. No, we had a DARE officer at one time, a female officer, and she's left the department. And I know that was very important. And I haven't talked to to Scott about this at all. I don't know if there are plans to bring that officer back. I know that she was really involved with the kids at Fishkill Elementary, and it was a good program. And I don't know if that's on your radar. There's so much that is, but I just want to plant that seed. And if we don't have one at this particular point, maybe it's something to look into. I know it's of value to the community.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. DARE's kind of changed its name over the years, so now it's the certification is a little different. It's called LEARN.
Oh.
But we can absolutely look into that as a possibility.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, I've just once again, I know this board is extremely excited to have you on, and we just look forward to your tenure being extremely productive and really helping this town. And I know a lot of people are excited about you. So
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
That's all I got.
All right. Just want to follow up with my comments for Veterans Day at 11 o'clock. Between the police station and the rec center and the back, that's where I have a war memorial. That's where it'll be at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Please attend. We're going to honor the Mount Beacon 8, and one of our citizens that has attended a few meetings before, Mr. Leonard Wood, will be donating a cannon, a Civil War era cannon replica that'll be ready for display on the 11th. So 11 o'clock on Tuesday, the 11th. Please attend. Next up is discussions. The first one is discussion of resolution to award replacement of 3 train heat pumps at the police station. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah,
Next up is the tax cert for all sport. Everybody okay with that?
yeah.
No, but we really don't have
Well-
much of an option.
What's weird about these, people buy these properties for X amount of dollars, and then they want to pay less in taxes for the value, so it's, yeah, okay. It pays if you got a good lawyer, guys. Number 3, discussion of traffic study on Route 90 north of the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. So there was a resident that lives on Dogwood, right north of the Beacon-Newburgh Bridge, and he contacted the state, and then the state said that we have to pass some type of resolution, Mr. Gallo.
Yeah, I had thought that this would work in the same manner as asking for a change on a county road, and that you'd have to go through the procedure where you fill out the state form and you submit it to county DOT, and they either approve it or pass it on to the state. But I called the regional DOT office, and they said in this particular instance, since it's a state road, there's no county involvement, that you can just adopt a resolution asking the state to either do a study or take whatever action you want. You pass it on to the DOT, and they will decide directly whether or not to do it. So if the board's interested, we could prepare a resolution for the next meeting, and you could move forward that way. You have to tell me what it is you want the resolution to say, though.
I have a thought.
Well, let me just tell you what the guy wants.
Go for it.
Coming into Beacon, the speed limit drops was 45 to 30. So he was asking to see if we can make it from the bridge to like Hudson View Park, also 30. Because that's where the 1 lane goes into 2, then 2 lanes go into 1 in that area.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's the basic gist of it, Mr. Gallo.
I read that.
It's really a small section.
You can't make a left-hand turn,
Yeah.
so.
So here's what, this just triggered a memory that when I first got on the board, I was talking with the previous supervisor before Joey Cavassini came on, town of Wappinger, that he was actually talking about creating some research, potentially working with town of Fishkill to see from Wappinger straight down to the bridge, what can we do to alleviate the traffic and the craziness on there? So I'm wondering,
I've had some casual conversations with Supervisor Cavassini about that exact topic.
I'm wondering how we could take it to that level and seeing what we could do. I mean, as far as changing the speed limit, that's one thing, but maybe we should just further discussions about maybe seeing if we can team up with another town, because we share so much of the anxiety on that road, and I don't know what can be done, but maybe we can get some sort of traffic study going.
What did Joey tell you?
He had indicated that he was very interested in teaming up with the town on looking into that entire 90 corridor, seeing what can be done not only about traffic, but I remember there was some discussion about Dutchess County Public Transit in that area as well, although I don't offhand remember exactly what context that was in. But I'll be happy to reach back out to him again and take his temperature on the situation and report back at our next meeting.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if something happens. Maybe we can work together on that, Greg.
Great.
And because I know that'd be a big relief to people.
All right.
That's him.
So, Mr. Gabba, write a letter to the state.
Well, you need a resolution.
A resolution first, I prefer a resolution for the next meeting, please. Thank you, sir. Next up is number 4, adoption of the, discussion of resolution to adopt a budget modification for Dutchess Park Sewer. The boiler was about $6-7 grand, so we have to pay for it. Everybody okay with that?
Sure.
It's already
Yeah.
done.
Need a boiler.
Then number 5 is what Brian was working on, discussion of budget modification to receive the walkway at our Veterans Memorial Park. I know you were pointing at me, I just couldn't figure out what you meant.
I know.
So that's what you meant. So Brian was able to work with the county legislative chair, Mr. Truitt, and Valdez Smith to get, 15 grand?
Yeah, 15,000 is the dollar amount, and we will be making that accessible from the parking area down to the pond. And you walked around with us, and you created a little expansion down by the pond in case people want to hang out and fish, which is a good idea. So it'll be great. Carmine's in charge, and hopefully that's done in the spring.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, next up is the film permit, up by Willow Lake. Everybody okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Basic.
I just got to brag. It's the
Our
first use of the film permit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. all
We should
right.
visit set.
All right. Next up, discussion of resolution amending the adopted multi-year plan. We talked about that earlier. Basically, I think we're getting 2 cop cars. We're doing the scrubber for the sewer plant. I think it's going to be a light year on stuff this year. Any
Right.
questions on that?
No.
Okay. Next up is privilege of the floor for agenda items. Anything on the agenda you can speak about. You could have, we're pretty lenient here.
How's everybody doing?
Good, sir.
My name's
Yourself?
Kevin Cohan, Vice President of Stray Help. I think you guys all know that we help the community cats. We do spay neuter, and you guys have been helping us with certificates that people from the town of Fishkill can buy to help, them with the cost of getting their cats spayed and neutered. They come, you guys give us $500, and we just want to say thank you for the continued support, and we appreciate it, because it definitely helps. When we have our clinics in Fishkill on every 3rd Thursday of the month, we have a lot of people, obviously from Fishkill, but also out of state. We have people come as far as Philadelphia to get their cats spayed and neutered because of the pricing, and even like in New York City, the prices are ridiculous. So we have a lot of people that definitely appreciate it. So I just wanted to say thank you, to the town board for giving us and the residents a chance to buy these certificates, because it definitely helps them out, especially like the guy was talking about the food pantry. We have a lot of people that need food for their animals as well. And it just helps that they can get their cats spayed and neutered, because obviously, if they're not, they just keep populating. So just wanted to say thank you.
So if you had a towners pay full price,
Yeah.
if you're a resident of the town of Fishkill, you pay minus what
Yes,
offsets it from the town.
correct,
Okay.
yep.
How many cats do we do for the town? How many certificates or
I
whatever?
believe we get 40.
40.
Yeah. And it definitely helps, so. Our last clinic, any of our clinics can be anywhere between 60 and 80 cats that get spayed and neutered on that day. So it definitely helps, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much, sir.
Have a good night.
Anybody else like to speak about? Nothing? Okay. Mr. Gab, before we go on the consent agenda, I just wanted to look at number 6. Is that set in the public hearing? Because we keep going back and forth, and I keep getting, I want to make sure what we're doing, number 6 on the consent. The resolution.
To approve the film permit?
No, number 6 on the consent. The resolution introduce.
Oh, yes, no, that's fine. You said in a public hearing. Do we have a date in the resolution?
Well,
That's what I
in
wanna
email,
say.
we decided it was December 3.
No, December 3rd was for the hotel tax,
Oh, I'm sorry.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. that got
Yeah,
public notice on,
sorry, I didn't, or at
That's
least I don't
okay.
recall what's in this particular resolution. Sometimes we set dates, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
In the resolution, it's set for December 3rd.
So we're going to have 2 public hearings on December 3rd.
That's just fine.
That's fine? Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. It's got 2 resolutions, one for the amendment and then one for the budget. All right, November 5th, resolution amendment 2026 preliminary budget ID 10255. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Fishkill hereby amends the 2026 preliminary budget as follows. Increase general A fund revenue line, Adam 12204.99999, appropriated fund balance 12,045. Increase general A fund appropriation line, Adam 105.0101, town clerk regular pay by 10,000. Increase general fund A appropriation line, Adam 14105.0812, town clerk social security by 765. Increase general fund A appropriation line, Adam 14105.0813, town clerk retirement by 1,280. Increase general fund number A, Adam 33105.0473, traffic control signs by 10,000. Increase general fund appropriation line, Adam 10105.0425, town board dues and publication by 375. Increase general A fund revenue line, Adam 12204.100, real property taxes, $10,375. Decrease town and village DB fund appropriation line, DB 51105.0476, highway training by 10,000. Decrease town of Fishkill DB fund revenue balance line, David Boy 12204.1001, real property taxes by 10,000. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up is resolution adopting the fiscal year 2026 budget, ID number 10246, whereas the town of Fishkill preliminary budget for fiscal year 2026 has been approved by the town board, and whereas the following due notice, the public hearing was held upon the town of Fishkill's preliminary budget fiscal year 2026, where at that time all persons wishing to comment on the budget were heard, and whereas the town board now wishes to adopt the preliminary budget as the town's FY 2026 budget, now therefore it be resolved, the town board does hereby adopt the preliminary budget as the budget for the town of Fishkill for the fiscal year 2026. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have one item for special consideration. I got it right here. So we have discussion on a resolution for that hotel tax. Any, just go right to resolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, I really think you should discuss it.
Discuss
You
it?
mind?
Yeah, discuss it.
Okay.
Guys, I'm not for it, so
Well,
that's my discussion.
Okay.
I proposed it, Greg jumped on it, and John gave the vote that passed it. And I campaigned on it, and I just asked rhetorically, is one of the things that I would do, and I'm talking to people like, well, you know, we don't have a hotel tax. What do you think, you know, we should do? And to a person, everyone said, what do you mean we don't have a tax? We pay that wherever we go. We should do that. And I said, well, we should look into that. And I forget what it was during a conversation here. It triggered it. And I said, my God, we need a hotel tax. Greg said, yes, we do.
Yep.
And so it was a compromise. I want it to be 5%, and we'll have to look at that because it's got to be renewed every 2 years. And but we're excited that potentially it will bring in $500,000 and help offset some of the expenditures, which is, everybody knows they keep going up. Greg, what do you think?
I'm with you on that, Brian. You know, prior to my time in politics and my, earlier form of life, I spent time in the hotel industry. And the occupancy tax, which, is collected by the county, was minimal. It was never something which I ever received questions or complaints from guests about. And I would, in the span of my few years in that industry, checked in thousands of guests. And while they would occasionally quibble over the room rate or, if they paid through an online, partner, like an Expedia or something like that, they might have complaints about, discrepancies in prices, et cetera. But no one has ever complained about an occupancy tax. No one has ever changed their plans or stayed elsewhere because of a $4.99 surcharge on a room that's going to cost them, $100 to $130 a night. No one has ever, in my experience, left our establishment because of that. People are coming to our area for any number of reasons, whether it's tourism, visiting family, conducting business, and this is it's a form of passive income really for the town because it's not affecting the businesses themselves. It gets passed on to the guests who are not residents of our town, and it serves as a form of tax relief for our residents, as Brian pointed out, because the income that we will generate through this occupancy tax can be used to offer some relief to our tax-paying property owners. And while some may argue it's a tax on business, I would argue that it is absolutely not a tax on business. The business just collects the tax on our behalf, and it is a nominal tax on tourism that has never affected the rate of tourism. So I'm all for it, Brian and John, and it's been a pleasure working with you on it.
So this is a big deal for the town of Fishkill. And, when we talked about this several months ago, the hotels were here at our meeting, and they gave us their input. And, instead of going to 5%, we compromised and we went to 2.5%. And, Beacon has this tax, Newburgh has this tax, Poughkeepsie has this tax, okay? So they're not going to say, oh, we're not going to stay in Fishkill, we're going to go up the road. Well, where are you going to go? You're going to pay the tax wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, to reiterate what Greg said, it's not a tax on the businesses. The visitors who are coming into our town to stay in the hotels in our town are going to pay this freight.
Yeah.
And, we all pay it when we go away. You know, go to Long Island, go to Albany, go to Buffalo, go to Rochester, go to Cortland. We all pay this. It's called a local tax, town tax, and it's good. I know Ozzy's against it. I'm sure he's going to want to spend the money when the money comes in.
He wants the money.
All right, but that's okay. He's entitled to his opinion.
Absolutely.
We have a 2% cap. We just can't, I just can't, that money just, it doesn't work like that.
Yep. So, this is, and I thank our Senator Rollison and our Assemblyman Beefan for working their magic up in Albany, and look forward to moving forward with this.
Anybody
And thank you to Governor Hochul for signing this.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Above.
Is that it? All right.
One other thing, if I could, just, we won't go through the law, but I want to point out to the board that in section 138-19, there is a provision called general powers of the supervisor. And what this provision does is it outlines the things that the supervisor will be doing. It lists them in regard to collecting this tax. And in doing so, it lists things like entering into intermunicipal agreements on behalf of the town for the performance of functions by another governmental entity. In other words, if you wanted another town to help you with your tax collection or something like that, he could enter into an agreement. The issue here is that the power to enter into intermunicipal agreements, and there are 4 items here, I'll list them down for you, which confer upon the supervisor, and it'll probably be his designee, it won't be him personally, it'll be the receiver of taxes or a comptroller or whatever, powers that currently belong to the town board. Now, you can do that by local law, but if you do it, it's going to be subject to permissive referendum, which means if you adopt this local law as drafted, it won't go into effect immediately. You're going to have to wait 30 days for the permissive referendum period to expire. And that's fine. I don't think anybody's going to seek permissive referendum on this, but it will meet an additional 30 days. If you wish to avoid that, you could introduce the local law with modification of, in 138-19 subsections A, D, E, and H, the addition at the end of the sentence with the words "subject to town board approval." So if you want to modify it now before you introduce it, you can save yourself the permissive referendum.
Is that the simplest way, is subject to town board approval?
Yeah, it means that he can go, or his
If he-
designee
but
can.
I'd rather do what you just said, subject to town board.
I agree.
Well, that's what I'm
On
getting at.
on principle, and it has nothing to do with any particular individual, I am disinclined for the town board to ever sign away its legislative authority.
Right.
I'm disinclined for the board to ever do that.
So let's do that.
So,
So can they make a motion to amend that?
When you adopt if you adopt the resolution to set the public hearing, say, we introduce.
That's right now,
proposed
right?
Yes, the proposed local law with the change that in subsection 138-19, subsections A, or subparagraphs A, D, E, and H, the words "subject to town board approval" shall be added at the end of the sentence.
All right, so let me read this resolution, then you add that, and then we'll have a vote. Let's see, a resolution to introduce a local law to amend Chapter 138, taxation, to add hotel tax, hotel room occupancy tax, and set the public hearing, ID 10258, whereas the town board of the town of Fishkill has a proposed local law before it entitled, a local law to amend Town Code Chapter 138, entitled taxation, by adding a new Article 7, entitled hotel room occupancy tax, and whereas in order to consider enacting the proposed local law, it must be formally introduced, and a public hearing must be scheduled and held upon it. Now therefore it be resolved as follows. 1, the movement of this resolution does hereby introduce the above proposed local law. Number 2.
With the modification in subsection 138-19, subparagraphs A, D, E, and H, that the words "subject to town board approval" shall be added to the end of the sentence.
All
We have to
right.
second that, or?
No, he's still reading it.
Just, okay.
Yep. And number 2, that a public hearing on the proposed local law be set for December 3rd, 2025 at 7 o'clock, and that due notice of the same is directed to be given by publication and posting. That's it? Okay, somebody's got to present it as a motion, and somebody's got to do a second.
you want to do the honors?
Present it as a motion.
And I will second.
Okay, have a vote?
Great. Councilmember Totino?
Aye.
Councilmember Foreman?
Aye.
Councilmember Rye?
Aye.
Supervisor Albrecht?
No. Next up is new and old business. Greg?
I have nothing.
John?
I have nothing.
Brian?
I have nothing.
Just Veterans Day, that you already.
Veterans
We already
Day.
talked about that.
Yep, I know.
Next town board meeting is what, the 19th?
Yes,
Yes.
which,
Alright.
you know, if I'm not here, it's because I'm recovering from hip replacement surgery. Yes, that's what I'm having. Fun times.
Get well, Mr. Rye.
Yes.
Make a motion there to end the meeting. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
That was an efficient meeting.